Whew. Wow, what a day, Bucks Nation. What a day. There's lots to talk about. I made sure to try to get on as early as possible with the trade, with the game today, just emotions. I know it's a lot going on. The community is in an uproar, good and bad. It seems like the community split regarding the trade situation. I do want us to get into the game first, and then after that, we can begin to talk about the Middleton trade and thoughts, expectations, or wrong turns and things of that nature. But before we get started, first and foremost, salute the Bucks Nation, salute friends and family. I said, yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Amara. This is Amara's Logic. Got a new video for you today. Milwaukee Bucks trades, rumors, and news live edition. Before we get into it, you know the spiel. Comment, like, subscribe, and share this electrifying content with the people. Y'all know we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about what's going on in Charlotte right now, where the Bucks are back to their winning ways by beating down the Charlotte Hornets right now, 110-94. 2 minutes and 24 seconds left. Bucks played really well. Bobby, after missing 6 games, he did come back and play well offensively, 23 points. Hold on, let's just get into these numbers real quick. I just know I'm going to open these lines because I know it's so much y'all want to say. Right now, Bucks are winning 94-112. Bucks have played well throughout. They came out with almost a 40-point first quarter, and they didn't look back. Uh, Early on, Brook Lopez played really well. He shot well from three, but he made some really like bonehead plays towards the second end of the second quarter, going into halftime. And then he was getting blown by today. Uh, I love Brook and all of that, but man, it's rough watching him play D sometimes. And then again, 14 points, 3 rebounds. 3 rebounds from your big man is crazy. Dame Dollar had a good game today, 31 minutes, 9 of 18, 3 of 9 from 3, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 12 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 29 points. There was excellent ball movement by the Bucks today. I mean, offensively, we were flawless. Defensively, it was a lot to be left to desire. But offensively, we were smooth. I mean, I saw everybody making the extra pass. Now, my question is, why can't that happen all the time? So, is it a point of effort, or what's the disconnect with this team? I mean, today is the ball move we always want to see, and I mean, like, you're not gonna make every shot, but the thing was today they were getting quality looks. All the looks they were getting today were quality looks. I, it's crazy. Andre Jackson Jr. Had 2 points, didn't really do too much today. Tyler Smith got in garbage time, had 2 points. Gary Trent Jr. had a very effective game, 13 points, 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from three, 5 rebounds, no assists, 1 steal, 13 points. Played well. AJ Green, 3 of 7, 8 points. Ryan Rollins, 6. I mean, Bobby Portis today had 23, 17 rebounds. The others kicked in today. Look at our bench production today. Even Pat Connaughton had 4 points. You're gonna win. You're gonna win if you're playing like that and distributing the ball like that. We're shooting 50% from the field, 42% from the 3-point line, 92% from the 3-point from the free throw line. You're not gonna lose many games. That stat alone should let you know. And they're doing it with under 30 assists, lets you know they were on fire. Because they're winning comfortably and they don't have 30 assists is impressive. That lets you know they were bombing on them, which they were. 18 threes is kind of a lot. Even in today's NBA, that the Bucks were on fire today from 3. And another good thing, positive today, even with all the ball movement, you guys, they only had 9 turnovers. 9 turnovers. We have to give the Bucks credit for that. The 9 turnovers. This was great execution today. Nick Smith Jr. had 19. I mean, nobody really went crazy on us. I think we held them in check. 42% from the field, 30%. I mean, they didn't do nothing. They look like, if the stats show that they should get blown out if you just compare stats. We did what we were supposed to do against this team. Well, the Hornets did not have LaMelo Ball, so we should beat them like this. To be honest, this should happen. Look at offensive rebounds. It's not as bad as it is usually. They got 9 to our 5, so not as bad as usual. 26 assists to 21. I guess we got 10 total turnovers to 8. Even that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, we just played really well. They did get more points in the paint on us, but besides that, we won in all the major categories. We deserved to win this game. And they came out strong in the first quarter and showed that they wanted to win this game and stop the skid. So I'm super proud of the Bucks, even with all the turmoil and transitioning away from Chris Middleton, who is going, his jersey will be retired in 5-serve form. He is the greatest Buck small forward of all time. Let's be clear about that. He will have his jersey retired. I'm sorry, Michael Redd. Chris Middleton is getting his jersey retired at 5-serve form, respectfully. So I mean, even the turmoil for the Bucks to come out and have this type of win is impressive and shows me the mental fortitude of this team and what they can do when they're focused. I mean, dang, he's not known as the best distributor, but he had a double double at halftime, and that just lets me know how the ball was just moving. And it's just like, why can't it be like that consistently? Can somebody help me understand why that is? Because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. And I know you people be like, oh, it's the Hornets and all. That's fine. But nonetheless, you still have to execute. And we were executing flawlessly. Look at our numbers. 50, 40, 90. You're going to win a lot of games if you're going 50, 40, 90 in the NBA. And a lot of that was great shot selection due to passing the ball. But the defense, whoo, I still am not impressed with our defense, y'all. They weren't hitting shots, and we were just letting people just parting the Red Seas coming to the lane. Bobby, when he got dunked on, I mean, Brooke, we have to figure out how we can get some athleticism at the big position, or someone that can just move, because our bigs are getting abused right now. And like, I know Bobby had a big game offensively, I get that, but the defense is it's hard to watch sometimes. Bobby defensively, it's hard to watch sometimes, y'all. It's hard to watch. But he did have a good game though, and he led the team in shot attempts. Shout out to Bobby Portis. But I mean, that's a big boy double double, and he had 3 blocks. That's the most I've ever seen him active, I guess, defensively, getting 3 blocks. But I still feel the way I feel about Bobby Portis and Brooke Lopez and Pat C. So what's going on, friends and family? Are y'all happy we got off the skid, or are y'all just still in shock about Middleton? Let me know in the comment section. I know the Bucks Nation friends and family feel away today. That's why I was like, look, yo, I gotta tap in as early as possible with friends and family, see what's popping. Because the trading of Middleton, woo, it's a lot. I know it's so much to unpack, friends and family. I know it's a lot to unpack. But I need everybody to remain calm when we're discussing this topic. Please be respectful in the comment section. Everybody has their own opinion, and let's be respectful of each other's thoughts and opinions, because I know this is a very sensitive subject with a lot of people uh, in the Bucks community. So I just want, let's just keep it cool. It's already happened. We can't go back in time. We can just discuss what happened and what we're going to do as a team moving forward, and what this move allows us to do moving forward. That's kind of what we need to focus on right now. I mean, it's. I mean, I never thought it would happen. I mean, obviously, I said they should, and been saying that for a while. I just didn't know that they would pull it. So that lets me know that we were in dire straits, pulling this type of move and giving up AJ Johnson, which I know hurts a lot of people that we gave up AJ Johnson, which I do understand as well. Let me shout out everybody in the chat here. Then I'm gonna open up these lines, and then we're gonna get into these get into friends and family's thoughts. Let's see. We go. I just know this was a lot. I know this was a lot, y'all. I know this was a lot. Salute to Mr. Cool. Salute to Mia Kim. Salute to Boy Mommy. Salute to Dre West. Salute to Robert Brooks. What's good, famo? What up, Gibson? AKA Mr. Bahamas. What's good? Eli Harris in the building. Rigo, what's good? Brandon King Carter in the building. What up, Dre West? Hey, this gonna be one of them days today, bro. Janet MOC in the building. Emma Smith in the building. Queens of the chat in here early. I saw Cynthia earlier in the chat. What up, Cynthia? Patricia? What's good with y'all? Chris B, shout out to Ohio. What's good? Greg Delaney, I see you. Mr. 414, what's good? Mac Jerry TV. Kenny Mac, what's good? K Real, what's good, bro? Appreciate y'all tapping in. Daniel Joseph, I seen you in the building. Bleacher Report boss, I see you. Kyoto, what's good? Francis in the building. Bucks #1, what's good? I see we got a packed house tonight. The childish one. Hey, can you please make sure to hit the like button as y'all come in here? It really helps the channel. Appreciate y'all. Pass, what's good? Seeing you in the chat earlier. Derek Stevenson, what's good? VB Sleek, it's been a minute. What up, bro? I see the OG friends and family in the chat. Look at Eric Pay, Humilidon, Puerto Rico in the building. Uh-huh. Dr. Smith in the building. Let's go. Oh yeah, let's get this cracking. Hey, 78 Sports TV in the building. What's good, bro? The legend LDBC. Yeah. Ryan Love in the building. What's good? What's good, y'all? What's good? All right, let me get to some of these comments and I'm gonna open up these lines and we're gonna get to it. I'm not saying y'all don't care about today's game, but y'all don't care about today's game. Yeah, I know this trade is all everybody worried about right now. So we're gonna get into it. I ain't gonna even waste people's time. Yeah, hey Rigo, I was talking about that earlier. Brooke put up the Shaq to the Fool fame shot. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing when he did that. That was insane. Mr. Cool said Andre Jackson's refusal to shoot is frustrating. Oh, that you don't got to worry about it. He ain't gonna get no playing time. That's why he ain't getting no tick now. That's why he ain't getting no tick right now. You don't even gotta worry about it. Boy, mommy said I always love Chris and show respect for him and what he did. He's a Bucks legend, but I welcome change because it's time and hope for nothing but the best with our new addition. Facts. Awesome comment, boy, mommy. Robert Brooks said it seems like Dame is excited about Kuzma the way he's playing tonight. He was. Hey, you know what, bro? He was playing inspired basketball today. I definitely will agree with you there. Eli said that's another thing that happened today. Jimmy Butler went to the Warriors. I don't know how that's gonna work if he gonna resign. I know they got rid of Wiggins and a couple other people in the first round draft pick. I think for for Golden State, they're probably happy. It's a salary dump for them. And then even if they don't, he don't resign. They got all that available cap space. So yeah, I think it was a good move by Golden State. Rigo said AJ Green needs to stop passing. He does need to be a little bit more aggressive. I agree with that. He got to be more aggressive. The homie Brandon said, "Let's go Bucks." Absolutely, bro. Shout out to friends and family. Jimmy Roller, I see you in the building. What up, Kel? Hold on 1 second, y'all. Trying to get to some new comments here. Y'all give me a second. What was the best trade deal today? I think ours is one of the best trade deals today. If you look at it long term, I think you could appreciate what we got going on. Let me put the link in the chat too. Pass, I'm gonna tap you in here in a moment, sir. Let's get this going. I don't even want to waste time. Let's just get to it. Get a couple more comments in here. Carrie said Bobby was plus 32 tonight. Yes, he was. The childish one said Jimmy already extended with Golden State. You sure? Huh. All right, y'all. Let's get it going. We got friends and family in the green room. Let's get them in here. Let's get them in here. We gonna have to have a conversation. We have to have the conversation. Before we get into it, y'all, and we have these conversations, we do want to say salute to Pass in the bottom left. Salute to the homie, Dr. Smith in the bottom right. Oh, we got special guest Amtrax is tapping in. Oh, this already about to be a classic line. Okay. Oh yeah,
What's going
Amtrax in the
on?
building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we start with the Middleton stuff, I'm gonna make this clear for the Jimmy thing. Jimmy did sign the extension. It's 120 million for 2 years, so 60 million for both years. Mind you, this is 2026 and 2027, I think, or 2026 to 2028. This is a 37-year-old we're talking about at that age.
Damn.
He's making his money. That's all he wanted. He didn't care where he went. He just cared if he's gonna resign. That's the reason why Horst probably didn't do this. That's the reason why you would see us there, but I'm 100% sure Horst did not want to do that.
Right.
Now let's talk about the actual trade that we did.
All right, let's talk about it.
I was about to say,
Hold on. One thing I want to show friends and family before we even get into it, I think will help them digest things a lot better. Just give me 1 second. Let me just show this real quick, y'all. So let me just put this up, y'all, and just so this will make y'all feel a little better, right? So if you look here at Kyle Kuzma's salary, 23 million, it goes down to 21 million and 25, 26, then it goes down again to 19 million. So his deal was front loaded. Now if we look at Middleton's salary, it's 31 million with a player option for 34 million. Do you think he's not going to take that player option? And even with that being said, we saved almost 10 million just by that trade, getting us under the second apron and allowing us to make other moves. And if you guys want to know why we had to trade Chris Middleton, because we couldn't dump Pat. Nobody wanted Pat. That's the real reason. Nobody wanted Pat.
You know what's funny? Marjo's been trying to get traded for a while, and AJ Johnson got traded before.
Right, yeah, that's crazy.
His dad has been going on a tirade of trying to get him out of Milwaukee.
Really?
It's about value, though, right?
Right.
You can try to call all the women you want and whatever. If the women don't want to call you back, it is what it is.
That's the thing. If we would have been able to move Pat, we might not have moved Middleton like that, or we would have maybe looked at a different route. But Pat's contract is crazy. $9 million for his production is insane.
It's not even the contract that's the issue. It's that he doesn't do anything that you would want.
Right.
Because I saw before, I think this is from Eric and from everyone from the Athletic. So that's how I know it's a little bit more standing with it. Is they're saying, like, if you want to trade him, we would have to give up some second rounders, like 3 or 4.
Yep.
So at that point, you might as well just keep him. I'm not giving up 4 second rounders just get rid of him.
That's how bad Pat Connaughton is. That we would have to add picks for a team to take him.
Yeah. I will say this. They were playing well today for a reason. These people, they definitely know. One of them's probably getting traded. The question is who.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think Kuzma is the only trade that we do.
I agree.
It doesn't make sense. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the only trade, but it should be more than just this.
A lot of pieces are falling off the board now, though.
I mean, there's still some that are still there. Brandon Ingram is still there, and now it's possible to ship multiple players together to get him.
Now, exactly. Now we can combine players. Now we can do some of the fantasy trades people been asking about. At least we have the ability to do so.
Yeah, because we, the account was overdrawn. If we're over the second apron,
there we go. That's very. Move. Thank you for simplifying it. Thank you.
Yeah, you can't spend money that you don't have. You can't make moves that the league is not going to allow you to make if you are in violation of the rules, right? And it's not just being above the second apron. You have a time limit. You can't stay above the second apron indefinitely. Otherwise, that starts to have an effect on you. I just encourage people to read up on those rules. Like it was necessary for us to really move move. Now, how we did that, people are gonna feel some kind of way about that, right?
Yeah.
I am of the mind, and I said this in your post. I agree with Pass that in a vacuum, I don't know about this move yet because I haven't seen it, right? But I don't think that this move comes in a vacuum, and I don't think you make this move unless you knew something else was coming,
Right.
right? So this is not the checkmate. This was the checkmate
This
in
is the
four,
check.
so to
This is the
speak, right?
check.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
this
a
is the
check,
check.
right?
And there's still time. So I will reserve judgment until the deadline meets. Now, if we
That's
get to the
tomorrow.
deadline,
That's
Mm-hmm.
and
tomorrow.
right, I believe it's 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Now, if we get to the deadline, I think we can revisit this and say, what was the value of it. But for me, I got to be honest with you. This is kind of like a therapy session for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I do feel like it's more than basketball with Chris Middleton. Now, for the record, and I've seen people say, look, explain this move to me. It's dumb, anything. If I lose a lot of fans on this, I'm sorry. I apologize. I love you all anyway. If I had it to do, I would have moved Chris Middleton too. But I would have
Yep.
done it with the utmost respect, right? For me, this had kind of been a long time coming, and it's been hard to watch. It's been hard for me to watch this. He's one of my favorite Bucks, and it's not just because of what he did on the court. I am one of those people that believe that the way that you carry yourself and the way that you conduct yourself with your players and the example that you give for other people to follow is important. I'm glad that I root for a team that doesn't have all these nonsense issues that you see, like in Miami, for example, this year, or Memphis a couple of years ago when a brother couldn't stop himself from going on social media and making a clown of himself and all the rest of that. You don't see that on this team because we had policing agents like Chris Middleton on this team, you know? Uh, it was more than just last year when he was the last of the big three to try and fight with the Pacers, and it was hard. It was hard to watch that he gave his best shot, and we didn't have it. But for me, it goes back to when Giannis's leg went back like an ostrich, and the playoffs were essentially done in that Atlanta series, or it should have been,
Mm-hmm.
until Chris Middleton started channeling Kobe Bryant.
Right.
I remember all those moments, right? I remember legitimately feeling like we could have beat the Celtics if he was there. Whether that's delusion or not, that's
Right.
how I truly felt
That
because of what
yep.
he did.
That wet spot
It's
changed
been
his whole trajectory.
Right.
That one wet spot. All of this
and
occurred
it's
because of that.
right, and me wanting to move on from him has never been anything concerning his character or how he conducted himself. It's just been hard to watch him be ground to dust. And that's what it is. He's been ground to dust. And I guess the people who are kind of off the wagon and saying it's time to move on, people have jumped off that wagon at different points. For me, the
Mm-hmm.
straw that broke the camel's back was when we played the Clippers and we were losing. And Damian Lillard was having a hard time handling the ball, and he was getting rushed. They were blitzing him, and I'm watching it on the Milwaukee broadcast. And Marcus, one of the
Mm-hmm.
broadcasters, is saying this is the time that we need Chris. And as if Damian heard him, he passes the ball to Chris. And to watch Chris Middleton go into his ISO package, which
Oh.
once upon a time was dangerous, but now watching it, he can barely stand up against a mid defender who, at his best, was nowhere near Chris Middleton at his best, was hard to watch. It's hard to watch. And it's kind of hard for me to describe that because it's been a minute since I felt that. But it was like, what is the closest? It was kind of like, I don't know, man. It's interesting. I'm trying to think. Was it like watching Clay Matthews go out for the last time, knowing that he can't get to the quarterback the way that he used to anymore?
Mm-hmm.
And or maybe I don't even know, right? Because Clay Matthews, I don't put on the same level as Chris. Like Chris to me is like one of the absolute best Milwaukee Bucks ever, and so is Clay Matthews for that matter. I'm
Yeah,
not
hold
trying
on.
to,
Now, I was about to say we're not gonna do that about Clay Matthews. Hold on now.
but I feel that way about Clay, but that's how much I feel about Chris. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
I
He's
get
that.
you.
You know what I mean? But um, I also have divorced myself from the idea that you know if basketball was solely about sentimentality, You know what I mean? Like it can't be that. There is there is business that you have to conduct, and the GM has to be cold and clinical about this. Otherwise, you get the team that we've had for the last couple of years. You can argue that we should have been making moves like this a little bit before, because
Correct.
if the we're not on the wall about Brook Lopez, I don't know what to tell you. And it's not a character attack. It's not a character assassination. It's just hard to watch some of your favorite players just get duffed on over and over again. Like, you know what I mean? Where Brook is now a situationally good defender.
Right. He's a cone. Brook is a I watched him. They just drive past Brook. And then Brook's
Yeah,
anticipation is all off. Brook always jump after the balls in the air. Just he just don't have it anymore.
yeah,
He can hit
and
some
I
threes from
think,
time to time. I'll give him that. But I'd rather have a nice Reed. That's who I would love to have on this team. He,
oh, of course, yeah,
yeah,
but
and he'll be a free agent.
you know what I mean. And I think, you know, and I don't want to turn this into like a dunking on Brook thing. Because this is that impactful about Chris. I've seen, again, people trying to make the comparison player for player. Just right off the top, if that's what you're doing, I respectfully don't agree
Right.
with how you look at it, right? I don't think that player for player you should be comparing Chris to Kuz and what he gives, because when Chris was at his best, Chris wouldn't have been traded, right?
Right.
Firstly, and Kuzma is not the Chris Middleton replacement. He's not a Chris Middleton. I think he is an additive to what they are trying to do in the next move, and then the complete picture would make more sense. I just think
Hopefully, yeah.
the part that we're not seeing would bring all of this into context, and it makes for a better picture, right? He is 6'10". It's not just him that came over. The other brother that came over with him, I'm sorry, whose name I'll
Patrick
forget,
Patrick
Baldwin.
Baldwin.
Yeah.
is 6'9", right?
He's
So
not
it's
that
the
good
length
though.
that
He
we
is
needed,
not good.
but he's got length, right? And
Right.
so, some teaching has to kind of come into this as well. And maybe this is me doing my whole Copa thing. I'm coping.
Right.
I'm speaking the language of cope. I'm trying to figure out what's next with,
And then the other
because I'm
thing we got to
looking at,
look at, they're taking on that Chris Middleton salary. They're giving us that we're saving money with this move. That's why we needed to sweeten the deal with AJ Johnson, because we don't have any picks
yeah,
to add to the
we didn't have
deal.
any movement.
We don't
Our
have and
account was
so
overdrawn.
we got to be happy that we're able to make this move. I know this wasn't the original move. I know the original move was the move Pat, but again, the price was too high to accept Pat due to his lack of production. So for
Yeah.
us to get under that second apron and do what you were saying, Dr. Smith, start to start now we can combo a Brook and Bobby and do all that. This had to be done. So you either want this team to be able to make moves or you don't. You have to decide. Is nostalgia more important than winning and moving forward with this franchise or not?
You have to be. I don't expect fans to get with it, right? Because fans don't have the responsibility of being GMs. Fans
Right.
have the responsibility of solely looking at the team from an
Right.
emotional point. So in that regard, I'm not going to tell anybody that they're wrong for feeling how they feel, because it's that impactful. That's how much Chris meant. That there's going to be just some raw feelings. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to tell anybody that they're wrong for feeling how they feel. I just will tell you that a GM can't do or go about running the team in the way that fans go about it, right?
Right.
You have to be financially responsible, otherwise you are going to destroy your team. For those
Correct.
of us who are also Packer fans, right? A whole bunch of people are now excited at maybe the prospect of getting Myles Garrett. Do you know why Myles Garrett is even potentially available? Because Cleveland runs their team like a horror movie, and you do not want to become that. That's just creating a factory where all you do is maybe get good talent, and then you can't cultivate it, you can't develop it, you can't surround it by other supportive players, and then you end up becoming like Cleveland. And quite honestly, I was scared that Milwaukee, if they kept making sentimental decisions,
Mm-hmm.
would become that.
Yep.
We were a second apron team. That's not something that anyone should be bragging about, because that's a rule that they had to create in the modern NBA. You
Right.
can't move. You can't stay a second apron team. You can't move being above the second apron. And quite honestly, if you exist in that space, then your team better be the Monstars,
Right.
right? There better be a reason that you're a second April
Shout
team.
out to that comment.
And we weren't. I love my team, but we weren't. And not if we're getting on the live every day talking about what we need to do to improve. That's a spot to be, excuse me, that's a spot to be in. That we're still talking about needing to improve and then not being able to do it.
Right now we
You
can
see
do
what I'm
something.
saying? Not even legally. Like by rules we couldn't do it. So we had
Right,
this
you like
move
legally hilarious.
this move had to come. There was going to come a day when someone was going to go, and the sad music is playing, and it's just hard to watch. It's hard
It
to
is.
watch. It's hard to watch knowing that hope that we could have gotten more with Chris and we didn't. And I have nothing but respect for how the man carried himself as a
Right.
Milwaukee Buck. I don't want to dominate. That's all I had to say. You
Oh,
know what I
one
mean?
second. Let me get these super chats. Then we're gonna go to Amtrak. I know more than you appreciate the $5 super chat. What does Pat Connaughton have on Horse? There better be more moves happening. Mitty and AJ for Kuz. Horse better pull off a miracle. I don't know, bros. Um, Nobody wants Pat, bro. That's the problem. They want like multiple picks to take Pat. That's the problem. It's unfortunate, but Pat is almost unmovable at this point. And then he has a player option for next year for another 9 million. You think he's gonna turn that down? So he's gonna be here. Then our favorite op, no strays, ENT. Appreciate the 4.99 super chat. Peace to the panel. After Luca to the Lakers, it's a crazy world when K Mid and 2 draft picks for Kyle Kuzma isn't the worst trade of the week. Congrats, Jesus.
Even in the worst trade of the day, honestly, looking back, looking to see what I've seen afterwards, it's really not the
Rent
worst.
free.
It's not. It's not.
Rent
Now we
free.
got flexibility. That's the thing I want people to look at now. Or even in the off season, say we keep Brook, his money falls off. Now we have all this money that we can throw at free agent, maybe to a Brandon Ingram. But go ahead, Amtrak. Let me let you cook. I know you had a lot on this. Go ahead, Amtrak.
Shout out to the Bucks Nation. I see it's a lot of y'all in here. I know it's a bittersweet day
Mm-hmm.
trading one of he's probably top 3 Bucks of all time
Mm-hmm.
with the
I
clutch
think
shot
so.
making.
Yeah,
Right.
it's three or
Um,
four.
and I think that we held him to such a high standard that when he came back and he couldn't meet that standard, that's ultimately what did him in. Like we know what cash looked
Right.
like.
Right.
And that was what we got used to. We got used to seeing cash. And unfortunately, with the 3 years of injuries, he
Mm-hmm.
turned into Chris Middleton.
Yep.
And so
Well
that
said.
True.
is ultimately with that contract that he had, and then the Bucks being strapped into the second apron, like our pick was frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at this team, with the age of the team and everything like that, you can't afford to have a pick in the future frozen
Right.
because you figure pretty soon you're gonna either have to blow this up or it's gonna just naturally go away. So we need to have that pick, and that was the main reason I think that they did this trade because Chris Middleton, with all the owners and everything, I don't know if y'all remember in 2019 when we played Toronto, like Chris Middleton played with his mouth wired shut, like he was eating food through a straw and
Uh-huh.
everything like that. He went straight to the hospital after that series. So it's like the writing was on the wall.
Right.
Unfortunately, I mean, didn't he sell his house?
Yeah, he sold his house
So I
not too
mean,
long
I
ago.
think that
He
he
did,
kind of
but
knew
he
too. And unfortunately, it's gonna be tough. Like we play Washington one more time, it's gonna be tough to see
it's
him
it's close
in those
too. I think
colors because he'll be there because from everything that I just saw, Washington is keeping him. They got Malcolm Brogdon too, so there's like a little Bucks connection over there, and then he'll be a good mentor to. I think don't they have Sar? They have
Yeah.
some
Mm-hmm.
rookies over there.
he'll
They'll
be
learn
good
how to be
for
a pro.
Bilal, especially for Bilal Coulibaly for sure. He'll be good
Yeah.
for.
Right, and then he's closer to home. He's closer to South Carolina, so I mean it's not all bad. I saw somebody put in the comments that I think that he might end up retiring, and I think that
Yeah,
that could very well be true. I mean, like he'll play out that contract because you can't play that money. You can't turn that money down.
that's what
But
I'm saying. That would have
yeah,
just hamstrung the Bucks next year. Can you imagine paying
right,
him 34 million?
Yeah, the team
right,
breaks.
The team
You
break.
can't.
Thank
yeah,
you. That's
The
it. That's
team
the
breaks.
truth. That's the truth. He
Right.
has.
yeah,
I just want to foot stomp that. The way that the Bucks were going legally by the rules, guys, the team was going to break.
yeah,
Someone had to go, and it can't be like ancillary players. With all due
Right.
respect, because their contracts wouldn't have done that. It was going to be. It
Yep.
was always going to be one of your favorite guys.
It's either
Right.
Chris. It was gonna be Chris, Brooke, Bobby.
Bobby.
When it has
Yep.
to be big contracts, cannot be small guys like Marginal. Can't be DeLon
Right.
Wright. Can't be even Pat.
Right.
Those
And
guys
then on
really aren't
top of
realistic.
that, the other team has to want those players also.
Yeah,
Just because
and
we
don't.
want to trade them don't mean the other team wants them. And that's the
right.
other thing that needs to be taken in consideration.
Yeah,
We
I
know
think
how
that.
bad DeLon Wright is. You don't think the rest of the NBA does? We know how bad Pat Connaughton is. You don't think the rest of the NBA does? That's why they're asking for 4 draft picks. Can you imagine? Have to give up 4 draft picks to get rid of Pat Connaughton?
The good thing is, I think you can waive DeLon at least. So
Okay.
we could, and he's also a minimum contract, so it's not
Yeah,
a big deal.
I can't
Like,
even believe that hasn't happened already. With all
Yeah,
due respect,
that's crazy.
and
Thank you,
but
doctor.
we
That's
we couldn't
crazy.
though. We couldn't
oh
do anything because of the apron. It's like if
yeah,
you waive him, you down a player.
yeah,
yeah,
the money's still on your books. That's the thing. I think
Yeah,
So
so
now
it
and
he
doesn't make a
can
so
wait.
difference.
yeah,
Now you could do
absolutely
it.
right.
right,
You still have the money, but it's fine because you can get that player thing. So now you can switch Rollins to actual contract.
And
right.
that's
But
why it's
now, I
so
mean,
important.
like, oh, go ahead, Doctor Smith.
No. I didn't mean to cut you off. Okay, bro.
Oh, I was gonna say it's more about flexibility. So
Right.
I mean that's the thing for me. And then just from an X's and O's perspective, I was at the NBA Cup and I saw the game and I was watching it and the team was up and down and they shut OKC down. I was texting Am and Daniel during the timeouts and I was like, we gonna beat them. They don't know what to do. They can't play like this. And so I think Middleton being out, unfortunately, that may have given us an advantage versus OKC. And the reason that I say that is because with the way that we started to bring Chris off the bench, you have him on the floor potentially at the same time with Bobby and Pat and then sometimes Brooke. And so
Can't you
even right
can't.
now, when he was playing well, you saw there were a lot of 50-50 balls that the ball would come like right,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like none of them could get to him. So it's like just from a speed perspective, we've gotten faster. Now I've seen people in the chat bombing on Kuzma. And like you're free to bomb on Kuzma. Like he played for Washington. Washington
Right.
has been almost the Washington Generals for a few years. And so even if the Hoopers on
Yeah.
here, if you play pickup ball and you get picked by a scrub team and
Your
you
level
go out
goes
there
down.
against another team and you like I gotta play
Your
with
level
them.
goes down.
Right.
Yeah, I
It's
have a lot to say
it's
about
kind of like
Kuzma.
that.
I have a lot to say about
So,
Kuzma
but
that we're gonna get to later. But
I
that's
think
later.
that what we're gonna get is the Lakers Kuzma. And remember,
That's what I'm hoping for.
He was
Yeah.
really good on that team. He knows how to play with LeBron, which is if you can play with LeBron, you can play with Giannis.
Yeah,
Right.
you were able to play with
And
LeBron and
like,
AD. So
Yeah.
yep. And Tayshaun Prince, I think was he? No, he might
no,
not have
Torian
been there
Prince.
yet.
Torian Prince was on the Wolves, I think, at that time still.
Oh yeah, Torian Prince. I'm sorry, but I still think that just from a speed
Mm-hmm.
and versatility perspective, that we've gotten better.
Right.
And I think that there's another move to be made. For a while, I thought it was going to be Bobby, but considering like the situation that he's in, unfortunately, I don't think
Brooke would
as a
be the only
GM
movable
you
piece right now. Maybe
yeah,
you
you
can
couldn't
combo
move
Brooke.
him.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's expiring contract, so it's very easy to move.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
thinking with Brooke.
teams would take a chance.
We need to find a way to throw. Oh, if we can throw in Pat, it's
This
just
is the
so
issue,
hard because we
though.
need that roster spot.
See,
I
this
just
is
like to
the
Yeah.
add something.
Go
I
ahead,
just like to
Dustin.
add something to the Kuzma thing too, right? And the other thing is I just like um my man Beats was saying, you can't look at uh Kyle Kuzma in Washington. It's not just that he was playing on a bad team, right? It's that he had a different role on that
Mm-hmm.
team as well,
Yep.
right? This is professional basketball, right? So at the highest levels, I look at it almost like football, right? I'm bringing you in to play free safety. Now, on this other team, you may need to play a different position and you're playing out of position. You're not playing to your strengths and you're playing on a worse team. You're going to look worse by comparison. But if we bring you into a team that has a better structure, a more clearly defined role, and that role is closer to what you do best anyway, then I think you can see a better version. I would like to hope that we get the Lakers version of Kyle Kuzma. I think we're going to get something in between if he's not packaged as an extra move for another player. I don't
Uh,
know that,
One
you know
thing
what I
I would
mean?
like to give Kuzma credit for is he did adjust his like signing bonus or whatnot to make sure that he could help us to be able to make another move. So that's
yeah.
letting me know that he already understands he's coming to a good situation. So I think
No,
we'll see
he
the word
was excited to
excited,
get
yeah.
off of. He was excited to get off of Washington.
Right.
His thing
So
was
As,
we'll
his
see the
as
his
long
best
as
goodbye
version of
go,
statement.
Kuzma. I think we'll
You
see the
read,
best version of Kuzma.
yeah,
I'm serious.
you read his goodbye statement to the Wizards. It is one line. He's like, "Thanks for having
deuces,
me. Bye."
deuces,
And that's
exactly.
it. He don't put nothing
Deuce,
else.
if
He has
that,
anything about nothing about the city, nothing about the teammates, nothing about the coach. Thanks for having me here.
absolutely.
I'm out.
You're playing alongside who look, and this is where we get into the debates with other teams. I still believe that we have the best player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh
still
yeah.
believe, right, that we have someone, a leader, a commander in chief, who
Mm.
doesn't just show up on one end of the court, who shows up on both ends of the
Right.
court, who leads by example, who leads by putting his face first. And he's not perfect. There are parts of his game that he can improve. We've talked about his free throw shooting. We've talked about his moments in time where he's had lapses in judgment on the
Right.
court and whatnot. But he is, as much as I feel for Chris, I feel the same thing for Giannis. Those two guys were the pillars of this franchise. That's why it hurts
Right.
that Chris is gone, because they do
Right.
things the right way,
Right.
right? Kyle Kuzma is
Er,
coming to a team that's being led by one of the best players in the game who does it the right way. There are guys who are on like Titan level, right?
mhm.
They're the Godzillas and the King Kongs, but
Right.
they don't go about it the right way. Giannis is a Godzilla or a King Kong who does go about it the right way. So right off the bat, Kyle, the Milwaukee fan base is kind of raw, right? It's not your fault. So I hope
Right.
that's not what he ends up
Yeah.
being
I hope they
greeted with.
cheer for dude at his first home
Yeah,
game. I'm concerned about it low key.
because it has nothing
I
to do
hope
with.
they cheer.
Our fans are like we got keyboard warriors. I think in our fan base, because like it's like people talking tough in the chat in here, but it's like as soon as he has a good game, everybody will be like, "Oh yeah," but
Yeah,
then he have a bad
That's just
game, then we
people.
gonna bomb
that's
on you. But it's
that's with
That's
but
every
they'll
that's
cheer
player.
for him
Every
and
player
everything.
not named Giannis is going to get that.
Yeah,
Giannis
Every
gets
single
it.
one. Giannis gets
Giannis
it,
gets
but
it.
even then, we're like, yeah, because a bad game for Giannis is considered like 25, 10, and 2. That's
Right.
considered a bad game for Giannis. If someone
But
else
you
had
feel
that,
like,
yeah.
we'd be like, oh, that's fantastic for them.
yeah,
No, but
yeah.
I agree with Dr. Smith's point. Is when you're on a team, your role is different. Because I remember, like if you look at the Wizards and who they had as their alpha players, they kind of remind me of what the Bucks used to do in the early 2000s. You remember our best player was like Andrew Bogut
Yeah.
and Michael Redd. Like they were good players. Like they were like borderline all stars, but they weren't elite. Like
Right.
when Michael Redd played on that 2008 the Redeem team, y'all remember that? Like he
Yeah.
I
didn't
do.
really play. So it's like we had like B team type all stars, which brings me to my point is that when you're on a team and you are the man, you have to sacrifice something. That's just like everybody thinks Dame can't play defense. Now I see his effort on defense
Facts.
is way different than on Portland because he doesn't have to carry the load. And the
Mm.
same is with like Giannis. Do you like if he was on the Warriors, do you think that he would focus more on defense, or would he try to barrel down? Or, you know what I mean? It's like everybody
Yeah.
plays different on a different team. So I think that we need to wait and see what this team does. But I do think that there's another move left just because of the flexibility that we have now. I would like
All right.
for us to try and get Bruce Brown, somebody
Yep.
like this, or a big that's like a young big in the $2 million range. So I think
Okay.
that we can make a move to get that dude on New York. I think there's a rumor
No, Jericho
one of the
Sims,
centers
no,
because they
too,
got Mitchell
too.
coming back.
There's a
Is his
better
name
option there.
Sims? Jericho Sims?
Jericho Sims is not good. That's one of the there is a better big we can get, which is on the Blazers because the Blazers have so many bigs. And I'm not talking about Robert Williams. Let me look.
They
his
got to
name
be
up.
cheap though, Pass. That's the
He is
thing because we can't
cheap.
go back in the apron.
He is cheap. He's
Right.
not. We can be in the first apron and be fine. We just don't want to be in the second. Let me
To be honest with you, though, I think this was like a balance the books moment. I would prefer to not be in the first apron. None of that is good. Like, you know,
Right.
you avoid that at all costs. I agree with Amtrak's, though. Like, you know, and I think people are forgetting what forgetting what he looked like when he was a good player, right? One of
Right.
the things that he did do well was play defense. He has the tools to play defense.
Right.
You're not. So, and that was a statement that I was about to make before. For however long you're here, Kyle Kuzma, because I agree. I don't know how long he'll be here,
Yeah,
but for
I don't
however
know
long
either.
you're here, you know what I'm saying?
Who?
However long you're here, your role is defense, bro. Because that is what we are lacking and missing. And one of the things that I couldn't get super excited about whatever happened against Charlotte. I mean, we're supposed to beat that team by 1,000 points tonight, right? Whatever it is, you're coming here. You're 6'10". You got those big pterodactyl arms. I'm not expecting you to come and score 40 points a night. I don't know that I subscribe to the big three theory anymore. When it works great. But I don't know that we need that. There was once upon a time when a big two was fine if you surrounded them with enough synergy around it to make that work, right? Who was the big three when Denver won the championship? Big three. I don't know that I could say that.
You had Aaron Gordon and Jokic and then Murray.
Mm-hmm.
I know they put Aaron Gordon's name in there, but was he consistent enough to be a big three, or was he just the best support player?
He was.
He's
I think if you combine him with Bruce Brown,
if you combine him with Bruce Brown,
three.
with KP, with KCP, if you combine him with MPJ, then yes, that's a third op player. One of the two you had to combine him with, but by himself, no, he's not.
But that's my point, right? You know, because it does become nebulous after a while. Like, are you the best support player, or are you one of like the difference making players, right? So this would be like my argument, like when people would say Brook Lopez is part of the big four. When we were missing a player, did Brook Lopez elevate his game so much that we can afford to miss that player for an extended period of time, or did he hit like a ceiling? Case in point, when Chris Middleton saw that Giannis was out, Chris Middleton channeled Kobe Bryant. You are one of the big guys right now at this point, right? You know, when Giannis was out earlier in the League Cup, the qualifiers, right? And we played Miami. I think Giannis was out and Chris was out, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damian started off the game like, I can't miss. Like, I can't miss. It's like a switch that goes off, right?
Yeah, that was in Miami.
You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know that I would call Aaron Gordon like part of their big three. But I mean, you know, we're debating semantics. My point is this, right? I think that I don't know that a big three is necessary if the supporting staff around that is able to achieve synergy and everybody is in lockstep. That's the biggest thing, right?
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
The big three era stuff is essentially gone at this point. Last year's was another good example of that. Do you consider Porzingis a big three when he didn't even play?
Right.
He didn't play during the whole thing. It was Brown and Tatum the whole time, and a really good supporting cast. A good supporting cast.
White, and you can't consider him a big three. The role players kicked in. Peyton Pritchard is a role player.
Even on the Mavs side, same thing. It was Luka, Kyrie, and the rest of them were really good role players.
That's fair.
Yeah.
There was no third option. The third option stuff really doesn't exist like it used to.
Right.
You can do it
I've seen
still,
I'm sorry, go
but
ahead.
yeah, you can do it still. But look at the teams who did have third options. We were one of them. The Suns were one of them. Like it doesn't really work out. Before that, the Nets were one of them. The Nets had injury problems. We have injury problems. The Suns were just bad. Like stuff like this just happens.
Right.
It's not really
Yeah.
guaranteed.
And
And
we
I
just
don't
need
want
to be happy we were able to make a move. We could be the Suns right now.
Oh
Yeah, or
man.
even
Let's not forget friends and family. I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of people upset, and I'm not trying to
Yeah.
dump on the Phoenix fans or nothing, but we could be in their situation.
at least we not
Yeah.
stuck with Beal.
Trust me, I
Right,
know.
right. One
At
second. Let me
least
get
we
to
are
my
not
man
stuck
super
with
chat.
Beal.
Hold on 1 second. Ed Bizzle, appreciate the $2 super chat. Bobby won that game. Oh yeah, Bobby was hooping today. Offensively,
Yeah.
yes, sir. He was hooping. But yeah, we
offense,
could be in
right?
the Phoenix situation where they're trying to move people and can't without
Yeah,
throwing
they
in first
can't.
round draft picks.
So
They don't.
I mean,
They,
it's
we
tough
would
for
just no more.
them because like they're in the apron and Beal has a no trade clause.
no
Right.
So
trade
it's
clause.
like you
Exactly.
They
They're the
yeah.
Cleveland Browns.
They're
They're the
Yeah.
young.
Cleveland Browns.
Jimmy was trying to force his way there, but
Yeah.
if Pat Riley does not want to play, if Pat Riley wants to play his way,
Right.
you cannot do that with that type of team. It doesn't work like that. And Jimmy doesn't.
Yeah.
Jimmy isn't. His agent isn't the standard one. It's not Rich Paul. It's some guy who was lying the whole time, who got called that by
Right.
Shams. So like you can't really play
Um
like that, especially on a Heat team.
No, I agree.
So I
yeah,
had
I
seen
think
earlier in the chat that someone was asking, like, do we expect that he's going to come on and just to be instantaneous chemistry? Of course not. That's the
No,
case with
no,
every
not even
player
close.
that's going to come. We knew
The
that we had to
no.
make a
that
move, and whatever player that's going to come, there's going to be a little bit of a reset as that player,
Right.
uh,
Adapts.
you know, comes to learn the rhythms of the team. So that's what I would like to do, right? Is to help people kind of reset their expectations at this point, right? It's no
Yep.
longer, for me anyway, about placement in the Eastern Conference seeding or whatever the case may be. It's about how quickly can we get this person up to speed so that you can be a contributing member, right? It's like if you're in the
Right.
military, when you switch units and whatnot, you may have come from a previous unit where there was like a standard operating procedure at that unit. When you come to a new unit, you still know how to be a soldier, but you have to learn how things are done at that particular unit. And there's a period where you're going to have to get qualified. You're going to have to get your sign-offs and whatnot. That's what Kyle Kuzma is going to have to do. He's going to have to get qualified at this team, learn the vernacular, right? Learn the rhythms, learn his place on the court, and learn the role that we're going to give him, because I guarantee you it's not the same thing as
I
the
agree.
role that he had in Washington. I don't know that it will be the same as it was in LA, because I don't know if we have that dynamic either. But I am a little bit more enthusiastic than some people are. Although I've said I'm not going to tell people that they're wrong for feeling angry because the move was for Chris.
Right.
I just think
Yeah.
that A, there is something else to come. B, he is, and this can't be argued. This is like just right there. However people feel about that is, he's younger and he's faster and he can jump higher,
Right.
right? So just athletically, I'm not saying he's a better offensive player or whatever, but athletically, he has more to offer a team that was starting to miss those elements. Like, so we're all hurting right now. But how many times in previous chats did we come and say that athleticism is the problem? We played
Right.
less talented teams that were beating us. Brooklyn beat us 3 out of 4 times. Not, I guarantee you, it wasn't
Right.
because they were talented than us. I
They were
guarantee it.
faster.
Faster.
Right.
yeah, younger, more hustle. That's really all it was. A lot of these games that we lost, these young teams, the Nets games, the Portland game, that Spurs game that we lost to recently.
And that's a
These
problem. Because you can't, there's no X's and O's, there's no treatment for that, there's no game tape, there's no, we're going to study what we did wrong. That's either something that you still have left in the gas tank or you don't. So, the previous point that I was going to make was that Kuzma's coming, and it's hard. It's hard to fill. No one should be expecting him to try and fill anyone's shoes, right?
Right.
But that's for the lazy thinking basketball fan. That's what they're going to aggregate it to, right?
Yeah.
Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma
Right.
has to come in immediately give us what Chris Middleton did. I
Like that's
think
not
that's
fair.
lazy, but
Yeah, that's not
right,
fair.
Okay.
lazy, it's
Yeah,
unfair,
that's
but
not
that's
fair.
how some people are going to look at it, right? For Kuzma, not only is it a reset on his career because he's just been in Siberia for like the last however many years,
Yeah,
but you're
basketball
now
purgatory.
right, exactly. But you're now playing with someone who I would love to play next to, someone who's that violently good as Giannis, who's still in the peak of his career, right? And I think if they carve out a good role for him, he can play alongside. I still
Yes.
think that for Ajax, that you can play alongside, even being a non-shooter. Now, Ajax needs to figure out if he's not going to shoot the ball, what kind of offense he can give to the team,
Right.
because you can't be on the team and be a Ben Simmons. You can't do that, brother. Right?
But that's why his minutes have been reduced though now.
Right. But
I
I
mean,
think Kyle Kuzma
yeah.
can, with his length, and this other young player who has length, he has the physical attributes, if not the skill yet,
Right.
to offer this team something that we needed, I think, which is some youth and athleticism. We needed speed, we needed length, we needed youth, we needed athleticism.
No, I definitely agree. Let's do some round robins here. I'm gonna get some other people in the chat here. Let's start with Pass, then we'll end with Amtrak's. Go ahead, Pass.
Yeah, so let's say we do make a trade. Well, depending on who we trade, this is what I could see. There are some big men available. There's Claxton who's still available. Little
I
pricey
like
for
Clax.
my. He's a little too pricey for me, especially this year. He's making 27 million a year this right
Who?
now. That's too Claxton.
Yeah,
It
he
Oh
goes
makes a
down.
lot
no,
of
yeah, I'm
money.
not doing that.
Yeah,
It
No.
he
goes
makes a lot
it
of money.
now. It's also like Kuzma's with like how Kuzma's is, where he makes more money now and then it'll go down as it goes. So it won't be going up. So that's the one positive. And he's pretty young, he's 25. So
Oh,
you have a good time frame there. The issue is again 27 for someone who doesn't really shoot well and he's only
right.
just gonna be a dunker. It's not really worth doing. Cam Johnson's also available, but the Nets 100 sure I know for sure the Nets don't want to make trades with us because they think Giannis is leaving.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Every
they want
single
him
time.
bad.
Every single time I see
Yeah,
something about Giannis, they're like the Nets
it's
are
the Nets.
salivating. Yeah,
Right.
they are not going to trade anything with us because they know they're trying to get Giannis.
Yeah.
I I don't know why I forgot his name. You have Duop Reef, who is the guy who I was talking about before from Portland, $2 million.
Okay.
He's about Giannis' age, 28. Doesn't really play that much on their team. Portland
Okay.
have a bunch of bigs. It works out salary wise. It's not terrible. I would take a chance on that. It's only 2 million, $3 million. You could do that.
Okay.
That's of course the Williams one. You can get a Rob Williams. You get Time Lord. That one's a little tricky only because of his age. Dennis Schroeder is probably gonna be on a buyout market now because
Okay.
because he said some crazy shit like literally 2 days ago, and now he's in Utah. Or just apparently this man
Right.
he compared getting traded to slavery, so I'm not surprised.
Oh my God. Okay. Go ahead, Pass.
He did.
That's yeah, and I'm gonna hold my judgment on Kuzma until I see him play. I understand people's
Mm-hmm.
concerns, and I had the exact same ones because I know he's had a really bad year this year. I'm gonna give it some time to see what he does. If you're right, you're right. I hope we are all wrong about
Right.
this and that it works out because I want this
Dang.
team to succeed.
Facts.
He has not started off well because he did call the Bucks the Buccaneers, so I will say that.
You know
He
he a
said
little
what?
slow. He called them the
He said
Buccaneers.
what?
Instead of when he said the I'm coming to Bucks Nation, he did not spell it Buck. He spelled it Buc. That's it. He thinks he's going
Oh
to Tampa.
well.
There's a difference, man. They're not next to each other. I can understand, but you should know how to spell the Bucks by now. You've been in the league for a long time.
That is crazy. That's
I mean,
right.
there are worse mistakes. I mean, he could have called
Right.
Steph and end up having
Right.
Steph go to Under Armour instead of Nike or something like that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
You
All
know.
right. It's on you, Dr. Smith. Oh no, go ahead, Pass. You have anything else?
Yeah, I also don't expect Patrick Baldwin to be on this team. I feel like he's
Okay.
gonna get moved. I don't think they're actually gonna keep him.
Okay.
Maybe they will, but I doubt it.
All right. On you, Dr. Smith.
So I just think that the move, the greater context of the move is yet to be revealed, because I do believe, like Amtrak's, that there's another move to be made here, and then a fully fleshed out team maybe presents Kyle Kuzma with a better role. But even as is, the team got younger, we got faster, and we got below the second apron, which was necessary. I know people are hurting, but I hate to keep hammering that point in. The team was going to break by the rules. I'm not speaking metaphorically. I'm saying that if by the rules we weren't going to be able to draft in the second. There are penalties attached for staying in the second apron for an extended period of time. It had to happen, and it had to happen to one of the guys that we became attached to. So again, I started the stream as an appreciation for Chris. He is one of my favorite athletes, not just favorite Bucks, favorite athletes to watch play. I've said this before, that my favorite basketball player of all time was Tim Duncan, because of the way that he carried himself. I just think that there is something to that. You have children, those kinds of things become important to you when you see positive role models do it the right way, and they don't get enough appreciation. They don't complain. The man was, like Amtrax was saying, playing with a jaw that was wired shut. He was playing last year with ankles that needed surgery. That's why he was late to the party this year, because he got the surgery. But those injuries came from somewhere, and he got some of them holding the line against the Pacers. Now, ultimately, it wasn't enough, but I respect Chris Middleton to the fullest, to the absolute fullest. And I'm going to miss him in a Milwaukee uniform. I don't know how much longer he's got in basketball, but the minute he's able to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, I feel like that. He's a first ballot, in my opinion. The minute that he is eligible to get his jersey retired, you send him and his family plane tickets, and you get him up to Milwaukee. I would love for him to join as a coach when he retires. The day he retires, give him a job. Give him an application. Make him tell you no.
Definitely a class act. I see your comment, Rigo. He's a definite class act. Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't come like that, and it hurts. It hurts. I wish we would have got more for him, not from him.
Before
you know what I mean? And that's all I have to say. So it is the dawning of a new era that we knew would come. We can be emotional about it, but to act as if this day was never going to come is somewhat childlike, because it's obviously going to come. And we'll see how it goes. Like I said, wait to see the next move. But salute to Chris Middleton.
Thank you for your service, Chris.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's on you, Amtrax.
Yeah, I don't need to say more than what Dr. Smith said about Middleton. We all know who he was and what he did for us. Hopefully there's another move. Maybe it's for Pat to go someplace. Otherwise, if we don't make that kind of a move, I think that then you have to look at one of the $2 million players that we have, and then look at other teams' rosters for other $2 million players.
Yeah,
maybe. I see Moose putting in the chat bowl, and I know privately Moose and I have talked about.
You might as well just say Mo Bamba at this point.
He is a $2 million player, and that's about all we can afford. So unless
like a vet minimum.
Yeah, unless Horst can turn somebody else into a big man, I think that the next thing we do, if we don't make a move tomorrow, it'll probably be a buyout.
Yeah. I have one more thing I forgot to ask.
All right.
This is to everyone on the panel and to the chat. Do you think Chris gets a statue?
If it were up to me, I would.
Because I think he should. That's up to me
50
as well.
50 years.
Yeah. He did a lot.
Right? 50 years between championships.
The Boston Strangler, no strange. You know all about Minute.
I would say, because at worst, you could say he's the fourth best Buck. At worst. I would say he's third, right after Giannis and Kareem.
Is he better than Glenn Robinson?
I was putting him over Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I liked him more than Glenn Robinson.
50 years. Yeah, and I liked Glenn Robinson, but I think Chris, what he did for the Bucks.
He said the chat. He said we crazy. Said he should get a statue. Said you're crazy.
I'm just It's
Yeah, I like
Right,
him
you
better
wanna
than
feel
Allen
hurt.
Robinson.
this team doesn't
Chris
I
really
think
get
was
that's why
much.
he hurt.
super clutch.
Yeah, he
Chris was
was.
super clutch.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's why it hurts. I think people became attached. Obviously,
Yeah.
Giannis is the major engine, who majorly pushed for us to win that championship, right? But it was like, like almost like a Breakfast Club thing, right? Because people had become attached to all of those guys who were there. This is why there are people who still defend Brook Lopez, even though Brook Lopez, for all that he's done for this team, is getting run by everyone in the league. And it's because of those nostalgic feelings that you have. You remember what he looked like when he was at his very best, right? It's the same thing for Drew. It's the same thing for Pat for some people. You know what I mean? And it is absolutely the same thing for Chris, right? So it is like a complete picture. 50 years is crazy. That's wild. To 50 years between championships.
No,
So to
that's
be
true.
a part,
That's definitely true. But
you see what I'm saying? So to be a
Yeah.
part of it, and we were the underdogs, and we had been the underdogs since that Brooklyn series, and to keep rising to the we weren't the underdogs in the Atlanta series, but we were the underdogs against Phoenix. I was in Puerto Rico for the first 2 games. I saw how people had written us off. I'm sitting
Honestly,
at the
we
bar
were
of my,
people.
They thought we were
were
gonna get swept.
people were
oh
expecting
yeah,
us to lose to the
it's
Heat
done.
too.
It's
Even
over.
Yeah, they thought we were gonna get swept.
people
Looking
were
at me,
saying
laughing, pointing.
even before that, people thought we were about to lose to the Heat.
yeah,
They saw the first game, they're like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be a close game. This is gonna be a close series. No, we swept them.
Brooklyn too,
right.
and
The-
Atlanta.
Those was good. Definitely
Nobody
good
wanted
times.
us there.
Definitely
Yeah.
good times. But let me tap these people in. No, let me. Amtrak, go ahead and finish your last words, bro.
No,
Hold on 1 second, y'all. Go ahead, Amtrak. It's on you.
Oh, I would say no. It's appreciation for Chris Middleton, but unfortunately, it was time. We had to make a move. The franchise was locked up,
Right.
and it was time to do something. And I actually trust Horst that he'll get us somebody that can be serviceable. And then if you could buy health, I would buy that. But that's the only thing we need now is health. Because I think this team, when it's motivated, is pretty tough to beat. I mean, you saw what we did on the way to Las Vegas and in Vegas. So we were an underdog in that game.
Right.
You know what's the worst thing? We never got to saw Chris, Giannis, and Dame in a playoff series together.
That's the only thing. Is one of them was always injured.
One thing we never got to see.
Right.
Yeah, and that's gonna hurt for a bit, like all the what ifs, right? But I'm not gonna keep myself up at night thinking about what could have happened, because the championship that we got, if it were up to the basketball, know-it-alls and whatnot, we shouldn't have won that, and we overcome those odds, and that's enough for me. I was the only Bucks fan in that circle of people who were watching those finals, and I loved it. Like I said, when we won, there was no dealing with me. There were a whole bunch of people who had a foot fetish with Kevin Durant. Oh, if his foot, people obsessed with the size of his foot. I loved it. I loved dunking in all of their faces, and Chris Middleton was a big part of that. So salute to you, Chris. Godspeed. The minute you retire, please give him a job, or I will be in Milwaukee. I will kidnap every one of y'all in the front office. Give that, and I can do it. I'm that good, right? I'm just saying, give that man a job. Let him tell you no. Chris, you got a job, player development, whatever.
Right.
Just your mentorship. I just need you around the facility, because I think that's going to be the biggest thing missed now.
Right.
Is his presence and what he had to say. So please come back to the team and give us that as soon as possible. And yeah, man, tough day, tough but necessary day.
Right.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all tapping in. Appreciate you, Pass. Appreciate you, Dr. Smith. Appreciate you, Amtrak. All right, y'all.
Yep.
Always good conversation. All right, y'all. All right, let me reorganize these now. 1 second. Tapping in the legend, Mr. Cool. There we go. Hey, Mr. Bahamas in the building. Mr. Cool, tell me how you feel about everything. Let me be quiet. Go ahead, Mr. Cool.
Well, I'm gonna keep it short, because I think those guys did a really good job analyzing everything, Paz and Dr. Smith and Amtrak's. did a great job and bringing up all the key points. I just wanted to just relate how I think as if I was general manager or if I ran the Bucks. For me, I will always believe, and this is my philosophy, for us to be successful, we have to have as many shooters around Giannis as possible. So for me, that's how I always evaluate who we sign, who we keep, who we have. And so I'm always concerned if we don't, because I think I don't want teams building walls in the playoffs. Makes it so hard for him. He has to have releases to kick the ball to that can make shots. And when he does, that's going to take away a lot of their wall building, and they're helping, allowing him to really just tear teams up. Because he gets in that paint, we already know what he can do. But if they're building a wall, not allowing him to get there, I'm always concerned. So that's why when I see Ajax and I think about Kuzma playing and I look at his shooting numbers, I get concerned. I'm not opposed to the trade as much as that reason right there. I'm just concerned about, can we make enough shots around Giannis? I have to always look long term. You know, Kuzma better athlete than Middleton is right now for sure. Younger for sure. More athletic, all that. I get it. But are we trying to win right now, or are we trying to win a year from now? You know, I'm just not sure what the ultimate game plan and goal is with the Bucks team.
I think
So
I think we'll have to wait till tomorrow to find that answer.
Yeah, and you're right, to see who else we pick up. But I mean, I'm not like mad about the trade. I just thought I'm concerned about the things I just brought up, because if Ajax is going to continue starting, and now Kuzma is going to start as well, then I'm really concerned about the fact that Giannis and Dame like to get a lot of their points in the paint. And by doing that, you have to make sure that people aren't helping on them all the time defensively. And if they're not, then those guys are going to score like they're doing in big numbers. And we'll need that in the playoffs to have them attack. But when they have outlets to kick the ball to, they can make shots. That's why I'm glad to see Prince has been forced back into shooting the ball again, like he was doing before Middleton came back from injury. Prince is making shots like I know he can. We absolutely need that. We need AJ Green. Those are the kind of guys I love around Giannis and Dame, because they are best at penetrating the rim and penetrating the basket. So for them, I love for them to have outlets to kick it to take that pressure off of them, so they have more space to operate. So that's my biggest concern about the trade. But like you said, we'll have to wait and see what else happens. But we still have a good shot. We just got to see how we play with a new starting lineup that's going to be happening pretty soon here.
I agree. I agree. But again, I just think this was a move that needed to be made.
Yeah, it's understandable. I realize that, and I've been down on Chris at times too. So I don't want to send mixed messages or contradict myself. But I just thought, man, I just want to make sure we have the scorers on the floor that can play with Giannis. When I think about the Boston Celtics, when I think about the Cleveland Cavaliers, they have shot makers. And unless we're going to really come out and defend on that perimeter, we're going to have our work cut out for us, because we got to make sure we at least neutralize some of their scoring in the playoffs if we want to have a legitimate chance to beat them. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I'm pretty much done. I'm going to let Mr. Gibson take over, because I need to get out of here and get to bed early tonight.
Okay, appreciate you, Mr. Cool.
No problem, man. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
See ya.
See ya. Hold on 1 second. Let me tap in B Shack. And then let me get these super chats before I get salute B Shack. Hope all is well. Let me get these 2 super chats before we get into it. No Strays ENT, our favorite op. Appreciate the $4.99 super chat. Peace, Bucks Nation. Jim Giannis strikes again. Let's check his stats. Fires Bud, hires AG, fires AG, hires Doc, trades Drew. Hold on, Jesus. Trades Drew and K Mid. Where's the loyalty? Come on, no strays. That's ridiculous. Pass, appreciate the $5 super chat. Who's throwing the first punch at the GSW? Jimmy or Draymond is hilarious. That is hilarious. Go ahead. It's on you, Gibson. You about to fall asleep, bro. Don't fall asleep on the line. Go ahead, Gibson. It's on you before
No,
you fall asleep.
I ain't falling asleep. I'm a salute to the panel, salute the Bucks Nation, and salute to Bishak, one of the elders in the chat.
All
Great
right.
respect to you. Great respect to
Facts.
Amber. I want to
Yeah.
send a shout out to Chris Middleton. I want to thank him for what he did for the organization,
Mm-hmm.
helping us win the championship, helping us to come true. Chris, I know I was a little tough on you. I was one of the main suspects in this chat who wanted you out, but we wish you the best of luck in DC. And everybody who making noise in the chat saying that the Kuzma trade wasn't no good. I really love the trade. You know why, Amber? We get length, we get size, and we drop underneath that second apron. It saved us that we could go out and get another player. See, people who making noise in chat, they don't know about basketball. If you know basketball, you would say yes. It helped the Bucks. It's not going over that high apron. We drop into the second apron, so we have the flexibility to go and get some other players. Well, Amber, I love the trade. I love Kuzma because I see when he used to play with the Lakers, he used to play very well. It's just when he get traded down to Washington, he just had to take on a different role.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. So Amber, I have no strikes against this trade. We just have to wait to see what other move John Horst is
Facts.
going to do. That's all I have to say tonight. You see, I come calm, I come positive, I come with respect. I ain't taking no shots at nobody, but I still waiting on us to make more moves. We need another big. That's the main thing. We need another big to help because you know that Lopez don't want to play in the post.
All right.
He just want to stand on that 3 point line, jack up threes after three. We need someone to tell him you're 7 foot, the tallest fellas on the court. Rebound the ball. You're supposed to be getting more rebound than anybody else on any other team because he was a 7 footer. So
Uh-huh.
we'll just see what GM John Horst do. He probably got my message the other night, so that's why he made that move. Because he know if he didn't make that move, I was flying out to pull a rally down there so we could pull a protest in front of Pfizer Farm to show him that hey, as a GM, you have to move what makes sense for the betterment of the team. So he did something to save this team from not stucking into the second apron. I leave it to you, Bishop.
Oh, was that a
Brother,
question for me?
Yeah.
yeah,
No. How you feel
go,
about
go.
everything, V Shaq?
You know, a lot of times when you wish for something, um, and you think you're gonna feel one way, after it happens, you feel another way.
Hmm.
And it's kind of rough, man, because Middleton. Uh, I mean, a lot of times he got hurt, man, like playing the game, like in game. He didn't get hurt doing foolish stuff. You know what I mean? He did it in the midst of battle. Um, last year I think he played hurt
Mm-hmm.
and he pressed through it, and then he had to have this double ankle surgery, and he has had a tough time recovering from it. And yeah, he has been his skill level has been decreasing.
Right.
When I heard about the trade today, my first reaction was, "Huh?" But for Kuzma, it was kind of a letdown for me. Um, Taking a step back, if I can remember back to Kuzman's Laker days, which I'm hoping we get closer to the Laker day,
Right.
Kuzman. I was always impressed with his fearlessness, the dog he had in him.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my main concern. Okay, here's my main concern. My main concern is we just lost significant IQ on the team.
Right.
That's my major concern because at the end of the day, man, Middleton is a very cerebral player.
Right.
Um, he's probably has the best footwork of any forward in the game.
Hmm.
His passing was exquisite. I
Yeah,
was watching the highlight package today, and I didn't realize, man, some of the crazy behind the back passes he was making traffic.
The chemistry he had with Giannis, I think we're going to miss that. There's some intangibles he brought to the table that it's going to take Kuzma to really, 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 really play at his personal highest level.
Mm-hmm.
I think to make up for all that Chris brought to the table. That being said, we did get faster, we did get more athletic. But really, what really hurt me too, man, I couldn't believe we gave up AJ Johnson, man.
Mm-hmm.
I just
I
couldn't
couldn't.
believe it. I got a bad feeling, man. We're gonna regret that move. That kid is just 20, man. He's not even grown to his body, and he already has a skill set where dudes can't guard him. No one can stay in front of this dude. It's he's got too much basketball in him not to figure it out. So I
I'm
wish
gonna
we would have
keep it
caught.
real with you, B Shack. There was no
Yeah,
way a team was gonna do a trade with us without us including someone of that nature.
yeah,
That there was no
yeah,
way, and Beauchamp wasn't gonna cut it. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying, Patsy? We had to give something as value. That's what happens when you don't got picks. You got to sacrifice talent
yeah.
in order to get
So I
this
don't
done.
blame the
And then
Wizards.
for them to take on, because they're taking on more money by taking on Chris's contract. We're taking on less money. The
Yeah,
contract with Kuzma goes lower and lower every year. So even as if this was just a money move, it makes sense. Because even if we don't trade Brooks' money falls off the books in the summer. And then
yeah,
maybe you could work on a buyout with Pat. So we might have a decent amount of money available to go after somebody solid, like maybe a Brandon Ingram or somebody just of that nature,
yeah,
possibly, possibly, depending on what happens tomorrow. So I think it's unfortunate about AJ Johnson, but there's no way a team was gonna take Chris and just take Chris.
yeah. And the last thing I'll say is this, man. Out of all the places you could trade Chris to, you trade him to the Wizards, man. You trade him to the Wizards, man. And maybe they were boxed in and their options were down to
Absolutely.
nil. But that just leaves a kind of a sad taste in my mouth, man. That after being the second best player on the team for a long time, help us win a championship,
Mm-hmm.
being Cash Money Middleton, and he goes to the lowly Wizards, man. That's
Because
just that's
but
jacked
if
up,
we all
man.
be honest, and shout out to Scales for joining. What up, Scales? The we also got to understand this wasn't the first move. I think the initial first move was trying to move Pat and then trying to maybe go after Zach LaVine. Once Zach LaVine got off, was removed from the board, then we had to scramble to do something else, and then Kuzma was the backup plan, and it
Do you
worked
think
out.
we lost? You think we lost out on the Levine deal because we didn't have no picks?
Oh, absolutely, and we didn't
Because
have the
I
money.
don't. They
We
didn't
didn't have
really
no
get
money
enough.
available though. We had to
Exactly.
move Pat to be able to even finesse it to make it work. We had to
They didn't
move.
get a. They didn't get a star back for him. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's just weird. Like I've spoke about that on here, second apron and Chris's injuries and his age, and we talked about all of that. But I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm in the middle because I'm taking a hard stance on this. I do not agree with this trade. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't think this guy moves the needle for this team. It doesn't make us as good as New York, Cleveland, or Boston. So I don't really, I mean, I guess you're setting yourself up for the future. If
All right.
Giannis walks, then I mean, I don't know what your future looks like because you just got Kyle Kuzma. But I mean, it is what it is. You got to get some money to try to do whatever
Right.
Giannis
But they
wants you to
said
do to get the
the
rock.
Giannis like Kyle Kuzma signed off
Yeah.
on the Kyle Kuzma. So
I
we gotta
mean,
take that in consideration. I
but
know
you
what
know
you
how
gonna
I
say,
feel about
Scales, the
GM
GM
Giannis.
Giannis. I know you about to go about GM Giannis. This is
I
we
ain't about to
talking on the
go in.
side.
I'm gonna let y'all live, bro. I'm letting y'all live,
No,
bro. I
no,
watched
go
the
you
hour.
go
Listen,
ahead. Get your bars
I
off,
watched the
Scales. No, you
hour
ain't
of the
even gotta
chat
do all
tonight.
that. Go ahead, Scales.
I
No,
talked crazy as I wanted to in the comment section, and I was gonna come on here with these good brothers tonight and yourself and behave myself, man. I wasn't gonna do that. I'm not looking for no outs or excuses. But what I am doing is I'm taking a hard line stance on Kyle Kuzma, right? And
Okay.
this is why. basketball IQ, Mar. As long as I've been doing or tapping in with this show with you, that's been your number one gripe with this team, bro.
Right.
Over anything, bro.
Right.
IQ. Dude has one of the lowest basketball IQs. I don't care
That,
what nobody,
yeah.
what he did with the Lakers. No, I don't, bro. Listen, go watch that Wizards highlight reel of the last 3 years. Not just this season. The last 3 years when people talking about he put up good numbers. Just go watch some of these plays that he making, the shots that he take. Even when he was on a team with Rondo, LeBron, Alex Caruso, and these guys, they used to have to yell at Kyle Kuzma all the time because he would just do anything. And on that team, it was hard to be bad because all of those guys are legendary. He played with a bunch of legends. He was the only kid on a team with a bunch of legends, and his
Right.
role was to jack up shots when he got
Right.
on the floor. He never really had a defined role. He never plays defense. Like, so I don't look at him as being a future product of this team. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope he's a piece to move to get another piece because I don't see him being a successful Buck.
Okay.
To me, he doesn't even fit the work ethic or moniker that our guys have. He's not even one of those type of dudes to me. He
That I
wears
agree.
dresses. He wears dresses to games, bro.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's just a level of professionalism with him. Maybe Dame and Giannis can get him in order, but they don't seem like those type of guys to be checking people at the locker room.
Right.
They seem like they just like, if you're professional, cool, you can play with us. If you're not, then oh well. Dame and Giannis don't really seem like, Pat Riley kind of guys, or like they gonna, get this kid in order. And he's not a kid anymore. He's made over $100 million in contracts now. So he's not a kid anymore. He was in Washington, literally, him and Jordan Poole were literally in Washington treating it like it was high school.
Right. Fact.
Like, they didn't treat as bad as the Wizards are ran. We've seen players go there and be professional. Poole and Kuzma haven't really been professional. Let's be honest here.
Hold on one
Like,
second,
I don't care
Scales.
how
Hold on
bad
one
that team
second,
is.
Scales.
You still
Let me get
you're
these
in the
super
NBA
chat.
making millions of dollars. There's certain things you shouldn't do or ways you shouldn't act. And
Right.
I don't know. We'll wait. But like you said, the jury is out. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll be mature. Maybe
We gotta
he'll come
wait
here
till
play
tomorrow
defense.
to really see. We gotta wait till tomorrow. Hold on one second. What up, Bleach Report boss? He said Bucks got Jericho Sim from the Knicks. I'm not
We just
familiar
got
with
him.
dude. Yeah, I'm not familiar. More information, Bleach Report boss.
That's who we just got.
Yeah, that's what he said. I don't know who that is. No Strays EMT, our
He
favorite op. Appreciate the $4.99 super chat. Peace to the panel. Glad to see GM Giannis recovered from his 24-hour bout with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. It's just in time to trade his BFF to Siberia. Bro,
listen. As much as we because the thing is this is the thing, to B-Shack's point. We can talk about Middleton, right? That's my problem with people like No Strays and other people. He's family. So I can bag on Middleton as much as I want to because he's family, but I'm not going to let the media or nobody else bag on Mitty because Mitty was Mitty, bro. 4th leading scorer in Bucks history. He's he's top 5 Bucks player ever. Like, I'm not about to do that. As much as I was mad he wasn't playing, I was mad because one of the best players in the league wasn't available.
Right.
Should I not be mad about that? Like, I should be happy. Like, oh, one of the best players in the league is playing every night for my team.
So Pass said Sims, appreciate the $2 super chat, Pass. Sims is part of the Kuzma trade. Okay. Got you.
I mean, Jericho Sims is a lot like the Anthony Bonner kid from the Sixers.
Oh, really?
Like, they're kind of Giannis type players, but they're not as skilled as Giannis. They're just super raw, athletic.
Right.
He's young. Thibodeau played him a few times because he does play defense. His offensive package is very limited, but he rebounds and dunks. So Brook doesn't do that at all. So if the kid plays 10 minutes and rebounds and dunks, I'm fine with it because that's his role, literally. He doesn't shoot jump shots. You know what I'm saying? He's not a jump shooter or any of that. He literally plays in the paint.
And Scales, something else I'm concerned about, man. Middleton, as a perimeter player, is one of the most efficient perimeter players ever.
Ever.
What I mean, as far as his threes, his twos,
shooting period,
free throws, and Kuzma is one of the less efficient players. Listen, I came on here trying to twist it. I feel a lot like Scales feels because I'm like he's a wild card player.
Wild
And our team, just our culture, I just don't know if it fits. we have a couple of months to see how this is going to work. But man, I'm concerned that
But don't you think
you
he's
know
a
that
tradable asset with his contract being so favorable? He's a tradable asset. So I'm not even attached to Kuzma. I'm just attached to us being under the second apron to be allowed to make other moves. So just think about him as a tradable asset because that
Like
contract is trending down.
okay? I think that's a great point. That's a great point. But I think everyone in the media missed what Giannis said the other day when he was commenting on the Luka trade.
Hmm.
mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen, Giannis jokingly said, "My my wish, my desire is to see every foreign player with a
Major.
big market
Look at
team."
team. Yeah.
Did anyone hear what he just said? He's talking as projection. He's talking about them, but he's a foreign player too.
Right.
So I'm concerned that if things don't work, go the right direction, that Giannis just told everybody what he might want to do, and he did it so slick that hardly anyone picked it up.
If
Oh
you
no, they
notice,
was
Yep.
talking about it in the chat.
they've been
Oh no,
talking
they was
about it.
talking about it.
He does
Okay, all
he
right.
does he does this B Shack every once in a while, and when he does it, we react in kind of weird ways when he makes these statements. Like our front office kind of jumps out the window, and that's kind of the vibe that I got from this move today. Like I
Okay.
feel like you could have got even some picks over Kyle Kuzma. I don't know how Kuzma fits in this rotation right now. Am I really playing Kuzma over Torian Prince? No. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't care what nobody's saying. I'm not playing him over Gary Trent Jr. or Torian Prince. He doesn't get their minutes. I'm sorry. I'm just not going for that right now. He doesn't shoot the ball better than either one of those guys.
Right.
He's just not. So I'm trying to figure out how does he fit into what we're doing right now. He's not the player. I wish you could have got a guy who doesn't really play that has a high upside or ceiling for this maybe, but like I guess we needed this contract to match, right?
Right.
To make this move work, we needed his money, but just it's just culture and the way he plays, it doesn't really fit. We got one wild card player, right? And that's Jackson, Ajax, right?
Hmm.
We drafted him, we're invested in him. I don't think we have the roster for two or three of those type of guys, especially in the young range. Now, the Jay Crowders or the PJ Tuckers, those type of wild cards that are vets, Patrick Beverly, that's different. But when they're young like Kuzma, that's dangerous for your locker room because that
But
could go
scale.
either way, bro. Like,
But here's the
Agree.
you're right. You're right. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. Like you said, you don't really know what to do with him, even put him in the starting lineup. But because of his immaturity, if you don't start him,
oh yeah,
or if
you're
you
in
don't give
trouble.
him some, you may lose him mentally and emotionally.
Right.
That's
I
that's the
got you. One
problem with this
second,
type of
Gibson.
dude, man. It's the problem with him because I kind of feel like he thinks he's the ish, whatever. And if you just like, yo, you just wait your turn and just sit here and just get the feel of the room, you just sit here for a while, and we'll slowly bring you in. I don't know if he can handle that. I don't know if he has the maturity to handle that. And they might be forced to play him even when it doesn't make sense. If you know, Doc, this is something Doc's gonna have to figure out. But it's one of those wait and see things, man. Because
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. Some players, you know what you're getting. I don't know what we're going to be getting at Kuzma.
Me either.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
be optimistic, seeing that he's coming from a losing organization like the Washington Wizards that have a chance to win and play with great players and a great coaching staff. I think that Kyle Kuzma will put his best foot forward. He already is taking less money to try to help us so we could get another move. So he's showing he's trying to sacrifice for the team before he even gets here. I think he has a lot to prove. His career is taking a nosedive since he's been in Washington, and I think he got a lot to prove. And maybe that's the type of player we want. He might play at a different level now. Hey, I gotta focus. I gotta play serious now. In Washington, you in the black hole, you probably don't care as much. Now you got a reason to care. We're a playoff bound team. So I think we need to give him a chance and then give the team a chance to see if another move can be made. Because regardless, he's a very easy piece to move with that contract. That's why I'm not too tight. Now we have flexibility. Now we can move some people around. Now we can do some crazy stuff. Package
on
so and so as long as the other team is receptive.
on the
That's what we
GM
need to be
side,
happy about on the GM side.
I
But hold on,
agree
Scales.
with you,
Before you get
Mar.
into it, hold on, Scales.
Okay.
1 second, because I meant to tell Gibson. Go ahead. You wanted to say something before I forget. Go ahead,
Yes,
Gibson.
yes, Amber. By reading this article right now, they said that the Bucks is receiving Jericho Simpson. The loan right will be going to New
Yep,
York,
that's
and
yeah, that's what they saying in the chat. Yep.
yeah, and we getting cash in return. We getting any cash in return.
And money,
Okay.
So
yeah.
yeah, we getting money in return back. So the loan right.
So
So
this, so
now,
this, to
so
Gibson's
now
point,
we
this
get,
trade deadline was about money.
Yeah,
It
that's
wasn't
it.
really about making the team better. It was
Right.
about money. We had to get off of this money, man. Like the line rights money, Brooks' money will be off the books. Pat got an option coming up, so we had to get off of this money. So I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
charge it to that. But Mar, you know me and B Shack, man, we ball players, man. So
Right,
I'ma
I
always
understand.
hit the
I'm looking
court
at it from
first,
the
bro. Like,
financial side, and
yeah,
I'm just straight looking financial.
I'm always
so
gonna think about how is this gonna look if I'm in Doc's shoes and I'm
Right.
coaching this group, bro. Like I'm always gonna be thinking that. Like, and I just don't see how Kuzma fits. He's just a
Right.
weird fit to me. But once you get to talking contract, he's on a sliding scale contract that goes
Yeah,
backwards that you rarely see in 2025 in the NBA. So,
that's what I'm
you
saying.
know, that was kind of sharp a horse to get that. Even if you stuck with it, it's not even a bad contract to be stuck
But
with
that's what I'm
either.
saying. It's
So,
not a loss. It's not really bad.
yeah,
Go ahead, Gibson.
go ahead.
so
My
so
fault.
now Amber, we get that big what we was always asking for. We get a young Jericho Sims, even though we know he don't shoot the three ball the way he's
Mhm.
supposed to. Scales, Bishop. We just needed another big because we have 1-7 lousy footer on this team. Would refuse to rebound that ball. So now looking at Jericho Sims when he was playing down there, he is get rebound. And
Yeah.
it will be a shame if he come on this team and out rebound Brook. Brook need to retire. I put it out there. I'm speaking facts. You have a 7-1 footer on your team who refuse to rebound the ball. That's all I want to say. You want to just jack up threes. It's
He
ridiculous.
had 2 rebounds today, I think.
Bro, 2 rebounds,
Shout
bro.
out to
Like
Brooke. That's a
I
real problem. But that we ain't gonna bomb on Brooke today. It ain't time
yeah,
yet.
we
It's coming
like I
though.
said, I'm just interested to see if the kid play how he plays with this group.
Right.
People come
Yo,
from losing situations and it can go either way. Like you got to me, like Bradley Beal has regressed. And
Mm-hmm.
I believe that was from all those bad years that he spent in Washington. Like that can happen to your game, bro. Like if you spend time around a bunch of bums and you playing with a bunch of bums,
Right.
you can come out on the other side of that, not looking
Right.
like how you were looking. Like he was challenged when John Wall was there. It was kind of
Right.
like once John Wall left, it got kind of spooky in DC for
Right.
Bill. Them 25s was looking crazy on 35 split shooting splits,
Right.
35% shooting splits. Like people just look at box scores. I
Right.
go into we go into the box scores, bro. Like them shooting splits looked a little crazy them last
Right.
couple of years in Washington while he was
so
getting 60 million a season. You know what I mean? Like, so I
so
don't know.
what's the guard's name that was with the Bucks during the championship season? He's got a podcast. What's his
Oh,
name?
Jeff Teague.
Jeff
I love
Teague,
it. One
yeah.
of my favorite podcasts.
Right.
Jeff Teague was saying today, yo, Kuz is built different, man. He ain't gonna bow down to Giannis.
At
He's played
all.
with
He didn't bow
LeBron,
down to
and
LeBron.
see the issue's gonna be when Giannis is running down the court with his hands open like this, and Kuz looks him off or don't even look at him. I'm gonna see how many times that's gonna happen before they try to reel him in, because my understanding is he's got a whole lot of confidence in his game, and he's not going to acquiesce
Mm-hmm.
just because Giannis is Giannis. Now, we'll see how strong the culture is
Right.
on the Bucks, where everybody turns and says, "Yo, on this team, you get the ball to Giannis and Dame, and then wait to get it back,"
Right.
because that's really the mentality you have to have. Give it
Facts.
up and wait to get it back. that's the challenge Kuz's going to have. If he can make that adjustment, I think he'll be okay. But once again, let's just see what you said, Amara, is true. Coming from a bad culture, a losing culture, maybe being thirsty for that desire to win and return to that.
Right.
On the other hand, how much has a losing culture permeated your character
Right.
and you built some bad habits? And that's what we have to wait and see.
That's valid.
And you know,
No, that's valid. No, that's super valid. Let's do some round robin. Let's just start with you, B Shack, then we'll end with Scales. Go ahead, B Shack. Let's
hey, hey, let's just see what happens, man. It could be a brilliant move or it could blow up in our face. But like you said, we got flexibility. The only thing with gambling and stuff like that, you take it for granted that Giannis gonna be cool with everything. That's the main thing to worry
right.
about. How is Giannis gonna take all of this? How is he gonna vibe with all of this? We soon shall see, man. We soon shall see.
I like the positive attitude though, B Shack. That's that we gotta till we see what's gonna happen. I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah.
Mr. Bahamas, aka Barack Bahamas, as Nose Craze likes to say. Go ahead, bro.
Well, Amber, I can't criticize nothing yet until I see the first few games together with the new guys who are coming in. But I know that, hey, we needed another big man, and we get one from New York. That was my concern because we've been saying this on this podcast for years.
Right.
Lopez and Paul not cutting it. At least we get some little life or little flexibility to face against a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, so we could have somebody. If Lopez is not
Mm.
doing his job, we could bring in the young Jericho Sims who could fight for rebound. Because Brooke, every time I watch him, I see him turn the tree. I switch the TV to a different channel, and then I put it. I hate to see a lousy 7-footer jack up more threes than a guard. A 7-footer would want to be a guard that bad. Don't want to play his role. I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it, Amber. I hate it. That is not your job. Your job is to play more in the low post. Play like the way Elijah want them play. They dominate little guards in the post. You want jack up a bunch of threes. So I pray that I don't see no more of that. And if he continue to do that, Horse need to just get him out of here as fast as possible in a heartbeat. Fast. So that's all I have to say.
My
Let's
man
give the new
gets
guys
it.
a chance. Let's give the new guys a chance. I ain't reading judgment on Kuzma yet. I want to see what they can do
Yeah, that's what
first.
I'm saying. We gotta give him a little time. It's on
Right.
you.
So
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Gibson.
that's all I have to say. All right. Peace and love.
Please, hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Scales. It's on you.
I mean, like I said, I talked real crazy in the chat, so I got my I hate Giannis the GM out before I got on
Mm-hmm.
camera, so I'm past that part. I do like the Jericho Sims move. I like moving off the line right.
Right.
I like the flexibility that even the Kuzma contract gives us. As much as I don't think he fits us
Right.
basketball wise, but as far as financially, he makes sense. Even with his age, it makes sense.
Right.
I hate to lose an AJ Johnson, but when you don't have draft picks, Chris Livingston, AJ Johnson, Tyler Smith, one of them kids was gone.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was just a given. One of them had to go in this deal. No deal for Mitty was going to get done without one of those
Correct.
kids. Those kids represent a first round draft pick pretty much,
Correct.
or a high round draft pick.
Correct.
So that's why they had to go. I like Sims. Now, is Doc going to play Sims is the question. I don't know if he's going to play Sims. I would use those 6 fouls in that screen setting
Right.
for Dame and Giannis out there. I would use that. I don't know. To me, with Kuzma, right, on the basketball tip, he can either be bad Bobby Portis or he can be good Bobby Portis for you. And that's my analogy with Kuzma, ladies and gentlemen. We'll revisit this in April when I say he makes a lot of Bobby decisions and he can get on a heater like Bobby. So to me, he's like a perimeter version of Bobby Portis, in my opinion.
Okay.
Good
You know
analogy.
what?
what
I'm
his
not
game
mad at
is
that.
to me. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
A
I'm
lot
not
of
mad
goofy
at that.
stuff on the perimeter. But if he
Right.
gets a mismatch or he gets on a heater, you can get in trouble. I will
No.
give Kuzma that. He get a
Yep.
6'6" wing player on him, and he get a little physical with him. He can get a bucket on him. Same thing Portis does.
Facts.
Bobby Portis does very well with mismatches. Not bigger guys, smaller guys. He usually hunts out smaller defenders. He did it against Charlotte today. He does that very well when he's locked in. And that's the type of player Kuzma is to me. Defensively, I don't think you get anything from Kuzma, just like you don't get anything from Portis. It's all offense with both of those guys. You know what I mean? It's all, and Kuzma's never been a rebounder. For all you people in the chat talking about he gonna play the post and he makes us longer defensively.
Right.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't do any of that. Stop your 2K references and your and these hypotheticals that you coming up with, because that's not true. He's a gunner. He's a 6'8" gunner.
Right. I
Literally.
agree with that.
His assist to shot ratio is low. Like, don't try to make him into Middleton and a creator and a facilitator and all of this stuff.
No, he just got to get out there, get buckets, and play good basketball.
That's what he do.
Right.
And if he do it for us, cool. You know what I mean? He find a role to do it and shoot it on nice shooting splits, cool. But defensively, as angry as we get about this defense, it might get spooky out there with him and Bobby on the floor at the same time.
Yeah, we're going to have to see. Yeah, we definitely going to have
Lopez,
to see.
Mara, that can get scary out there, bro.
Oh,
Brooke,
yeah.
Bobby, and Kuz.
Right.
That's the Keystone Cops, man.
Right.
Well,
That's
we'll
the
see.
Keystone Cops right there.
We'll see. Where are we right now? We're fourth? Still?
Fifth,
We're fifth?
sixth.
Because I know we've been losing.
Sixth. We're in sixth.
So we've slid to six.
Yeah.
Does my man Ryan Rollins have a roster spot now?
I think so.
Or do we still got to do something else?
I gotta double check. I think so. If we got rid of DeLon Wright, I believe so.
Yep. Right is out.
DeLon Wright had to go, man. He had to go.
Yeah, he ain't even an NBA caliber player.
He had to go. And Ryan Rollins needs a roster spot. I think we got like a week left, Mara, before he has to be on a roster officially.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah,
they gonna make some. Hold on 1 second. Pass. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Hearing rumors of Smart and Cam Johnson for us. Bobby would be sent to Memphis for Smart and picks. Picks would most likely be sent to Nets. Wow.
Yeah. I seen that earlier before you started to chat. I seen that right before I logged on.
Wow.
Wait a minute, there's two Cams on the Brooklyn, right?
The light-skinned one.
This the one from the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
This the one we played in the finals.
Yeah.
Cam Johnson.
Well, we don't know yet. Let's not get too fired up.
No, hold on. This is what I'm saying. Now, that's the real 6'8" switchblade knockdown shooter guy that plays his role.
Right.
That doesn't have an ego. That's Cam Johnson, not Kyle Kuzma.
Sir.
So,
but this would, if we did that now, the Kyle Kuzma move would make a lot more sense.
A lot more sense
because of the financial flex. Now, if this happens, we are definitely going live tomorrow.
And what's funny is,
I'm telling you off top, we're going live tomorrow.
Bobby's been gone. Think about it, Mara. Bobby's been gone for like 2 weeks. He comes back tonight and almost has 40.
Right.
That's a good look for a team that's trying to trade for this guy tomorrow morning.
There we go. That's what I'm saying. Get that trade value up, Bobby.
That might be all the convincing I would need as a GM.
Right.
Like, well, okay.
Oh man.
Good looking, Pass. So we gonna see. We got some optimism in Bucks Nation, and we got to see what tomorrow holds.
We got to keep our finger crossed.
That's a good note to end on right there.
Right, absolutely. All right, y'all. Great line. All right, y'all. All right, go. All right, see y'all. Let me get back in this comment section real quick. Tap you in a minute, bro. Hey, it's exciting day. A lot of emotions. We lost a legend, and Chris Middleton has done so much for this organization. Model citizen, helped us win a championship. Much respect to Chris Middleton, but it was just time, respectfully. Pass, appreciate the $2 super chat. Bobby was gone because his grandma passed. Ah, okay. Got it. Appreciate the information. Salute the Pass. Hold on 1 second. Dre West said Bobby is definitely an asset to other teams. I agree. And we should now if we can pull this Cam Johnson move off, that would be something serious. Are you sure Joseph McBeth, the Bucks are the 5th seed? Because I could swear we were 6 behind the Pacers. Can you confirm? Thanks to Kuzma, helped who helped us. Right. Facts. Gibson says, salute the Bucks Nation. Let me tap into homie Brandon before we get too late here. Tap in Brandon real quick. What up, Brandon? So how you feel about today's trades and everything?
What up,
Oh, okay. My bad. So fifth and Pacers are 4. Okay, got you. Appreciate you. Go ahead, Brandon.
what up, y'all? Hey, I saw a trade. I just found out that we got Kuzma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit sad, but I'm not always sad. But we want to thank Chris Middleton gave me the way he does for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's going to take. I'm not grit and heartbroken from us that Chris done everything to us
Mm-hmm.
because we've been saying it's time to move on. It's business, but it's time to move on. We need to get some fresh legs up in here. Now,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but now we got to back up. I back up big. Let's just see what other move we're gonna make.
Right.
I'm not gonna get my hope up yet. See what other move we're gonna make.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get my hopes up yet. I'm not.
Okay.
But there's only one thing to Buck Nation, friends and family. Remain positive. Whatever move we make tomorrow or Friday, we're definitely gonna go live. See what's going on.
Right.
Because I heard what the Bucks doing, saying that we're trying to get Marcus Smart and Cam Johnson.
Right.
If we get one of these two players, it's upsetting. Because, like I said, let's not get our hopes up yet. And then let's see what the new guy, what the new addition show us.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm with here. I'm not gonna buy him a Kuzma, but he got here. But I want to give Kuzma like few, few, a few games.
Mm-hmm.
See what he can do.
Okay.
That's all I can say, Buck Nation, family, friends.
Appreciate you, Brandon.
But taking one game at a time. We're gonna be right at it. Hopefully, we're gonna make something happen tomorrow.
Right.
See what's going on. If we get somebody, we definitely gonna knock ASAP. And we're coming back here Friday.
Right.
So, Buck Nation, family, friends. I'll let y'all tomorrow and
All right.
Friday.
All right. All right, Brandon.
All right.
All right, friends and family, officially at the 2 hour mark. If you haven't already, this was an outstanding live instant classic. If you don't mind hitting the like button, helps other fans find Bucks supporters, find the best Bucks content and the best Bucks community on YouTube. I'm Amara. This is Amara's Logic, Milwaukee Bucks trades, rumors, and news live edition where we just got done discussing the Milwaukee Bucks win against the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte, 112 to 102 on the road. Dame had a double double. Torian Prince played well. Bobby Portis had 23. Gary Trent Jr. played well. And the main discussion point today is, as we all know, is the trading of Bucks legend and Chris Middleton. Today we had to move on from Chris Middleton and we got Kyle Kuzma from the Washington Wizards. that put us under the second apron. That's going to allow us a little bit more flexibility to possibly make this move to get Marcus Smart and Cam Johnson, which I really think will solidify our roster with the proper role players if this were to happen. And if this does, we'll definitely be going live tomorrow to chop it up, because that is a huge deal in my opinion. And I think it would make us in a new mold where we would be able to play with pace and have some speed and have a lot more athleticism. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. So I'm holding out any type of real judgment on this team until the trade deadline is done tomorrow, and then we'll kind of go on from there, y'all. I really appreciate the support and everybody that tapped in. We grinding here. We going live after every Bucks game. Please, if you haven't already, also please subscribe. As always, content, shorts, community posts. It's always active community. So really appreciate y'all tapping in. Please comment, like, subscribe, and share the electrifying content with the people. And once again, Chris Middleton, we'll miss you. You're definitely a Bucks legend, and we appreciate everything you've done for the Bucks. And like Dr. Smith said, maybe you can come back in a different capacity at a different point. It's a tough one, y'all. Who up? Hold on, so make sure. Hey, Nemesis, shout out to Nemesis. I see you in the chat, Jeff Riley. I see you on the chat. Circle of the Fifth Force, Five Force, what's good? Robin Walker Murphy, what's good? No Strays, I see you back in the chat. What up, Luke? No Strays is so wild. Shout out to you though, No Strays. Shout out to No Stray. Oliver Story, I see you, Mr. Watch. So make sure I shout out my people before we get up out. If I missed any of y'all, I apologize. Joseph Macbeth, Trina, I see you. T, King Temp, King Keys. Oh yeah, the whole gang in here. Appreciate y'all. Jimmy Roller, what up, done? Kenny Mac. All right, y'all. Comment, like, subscribe. We the best in the business. Gone.